Fox News alert, we got the tapes. The Clintons were under oath being questioned on Epstein and wasn't pretty. But Hillary thinks she is.
Mr. Epstein is commenting, and he quotes, "Hey, Hillary Clinton is much prettier in person." This was Tuesday, September 20th, 2011. And then another...
Congressman,
I'm not going to object to that.
A source told the Post Hillary's team demanded beauty lighting for the deposition and kept moving the camera to get the best angle. Maybe that's why she lost it when a congresswoman leaked a pic.
Particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing. If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that can occur?
I'm done with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So I would like to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was...
It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
I'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
Whew. Bubba, on the other hand, was beaming. He took a little trip down memory lane, flipping through photos, all smiles. One thing they saw eye to eye on, Epstein may not have killed himself.
Mr. President, what did you accept, that he killed himself or that he did not?
That he did, but I don't know.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Neither
Mr.
do
President.
you. We don't, none of us know.
And then he was finally indicted for serious crimes, and he was in prison, and then he mysteriously died.
Bill says this is all just one big misunderstanding. The trips were for charity, and the girls on the plane, they were just handing out peanuts.
I never saw anybody do anything wrong. I thought they were flight attendants.
Do flight attendants typically wear tank tops and jeans?
They don't all wear uniforms on private planes.
What kind of flight attendant gives massages?
Have you received more than one massage from these trips with Mr. Epstein and the young girls that were present?
I don't recall them, but the problem I remember from that trip was that my neck had spasmed and I was in, and so they offered to help and I let them help.
Who helped loosen him up? Bill never forgets a face.
Have you ever had contact with an individual by the name of Shantae Davies?
I believe Shantae that's a distinctive name, and so I think that was the name of one of his flight attendants.
Did you ever receive a massage or have physical contact from her or anyone else on that trip?
You've seen the pictures. There was one time when I was sitting up and I got a back rub, a neck rub.
Okay.
And I think Shantae did it, but I'm not sure.
Shantae is an Epstein accuser. Bill knows her by name, and she was giving him massages in an airport.
Do you think a young girl massaging a president is unusual?
So are you asking his opinion?
Well, he was massaged by a young woman. I'm asking if he thinks it's unusual that a president, sitting president of the United States, leader of the free world, that
So
it's
I'm sorry,
unusual.
are you speaking to, are you talking to the instance of the
Yes, is it unusual that
the
a
back
young woman would be
massage
massaging?
that occurred while he was not president? I'm just trying to understand. You said a president of the United States.
Former president?
Thank you. Just trying to make sure we're correcting the
Are
time
you
frame.
filibustering?
No, I don't need
Okay.
to. I'm actually trying to make sure that as
pretty
you.
clear. He said he
You
was
said he was a sitting president.
Excuse me, could we just please go one at a time? Thank you.
You said a sitting president. I want you to be clear so that when he answers
former
you,
sitting
the
president. How
record
do
is
you want
clear.
to do it? Is it unusual?
I have no idea if it's unusual.
Objection calls for speculation.
I figured.
Bill couldn't recall a lot, but one thing he's sure of, Trump's clean.
I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything. But I do not want to leave the impression, but since there was no follow-up question, he never, the president never, this is 20-something years ago, never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't.
And Bill wants to make sure you know one thing. He did not have sexual relations in that hot tub.
It appears there's this photo, there's a girl over here, or there's someone.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
But he's also asking in the pool area whether other
Yes,
individuals.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so you don't know?
No, and then there were other people in the pool.
Okay, so do you remember who, were they under 18? Would you
No,
know?
I sat in the hot tub for 5 minutes, or whatever it was, and I got up and went to bed.
And then I have to ask this, did you engage in any sexual activity
No.
with this person? Okay, thank you.
Bill's getting a bad rap, but he kind of earned it. Riding on Epstein's jet all around the world, not a good look.
Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
First of all, that's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in underage.
I didn't say underage, I said young.
But it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Yes.
Kentucky Congressman James Comer joins us now. Congressman, what did we learn from the Clinton deposition?
Well, we went through every item of evidence, everything that you've talked about on Fox, every email that would imply that Jeffrey Epstein was communicating with Hillary Clinton, was in the room with Hillary Clinton. She said under oath multiple times she never met Jeffrey Epstein. Even when we showed the picture of her with Jeffrey Epstein, she said she didn't remember meeting with Jeffrey Epstein. President Clinton admitted that Jeffrey Epstein was at the White House 17 times. President Clinton admitted that he flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane at least 27 times. But he said many times that when he found out that Epstein was a bad person, that he cut off all ties with Epstein. So we went through every picture with Bill Clinton and what appeared to be underage girls, with what appeared to be some of the accusers of Epstein committing wrongdoing and sex trafficking them, and he didn't recall or he denied that the picture was what it seems it was. So we grilled the president in a professional manner. We asked him all the questions that every curious American would have, and they answered them. And I guess time will tell whether or not they were telling the truth.
Time will tell. And what's next for this investigation? Who else will you be calling in for interviews?
Well, we announced 8 more people today will be coming in, including Leon Black, who was primarily the biggest money transfer to Jeffrey Epstein from the limited bank records that I've been able to obtain. Leon Black was a major funder of Jeffrey Epstein's personal wealth. So we're going to bring him in. There was a Wall Street Journal about Leon Black where several women had accused Leon Black of wrongdoing. Kathy Rumler was President Obama's general counsel, who later went on to Goldman Sachs. She communicated with Epstein all the way until the end. She was trying to defend him. Then people like Bill Gates, again, some of the most powerful people in the world who have been named in the Epstein files. We're going to bring them all in, and we're going to ask them questions, and I hope it's in a professional manner. I hope we can do it quickly, and I hope we can get the truth to the American people and hold anyone accountable that we find committed crimes.
And in your opinion, what are we learning about Jeffrey Epstein? What was he up to from an intelligence perspective?
Well, everyone suspects that he was an asset. The problem is we don't know who he was an asset for. Was he an asset for the United States? Was he an asset for Israel? Was he an asset for Britain? I think it's going to be interesting to see what Britain does. We know that they've brought in Prince Andrew and the former ambassador from Great Britain to the United States to see, what they were doing. They weren't arrested for sex crimes. They were arrested for potential treason. So I think that it's still on the table whether or not he was an asset, and we're trying to learn. Was he selling secrets? Did our government cover up for Jeffrey Epstein to protect an asset? These are questions we're trying to find out.
All right. Sounds like you guys are hot on it. Thank you very much, Mr. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.